Hi, and welcome to week 5 of virtual school. I'm your teacher, Mr. Cohn. We are on day 34 of the coronavirus lockdown, and my beard is off the chart. Our quote from this week comes from the British government during World War II. Keep calm and carry on. This quote was turned into posters that were put up all over London during World War II when Nazi Germany was trying to bomb London into surrendering. So, this is a quote that reminds us that even during times of really big crisis, it's important to keep our calm, keep our cool, and keep going about our life and doing the right thing. That means make sure that you are doing all of your assignments. Even though this coronavirus crisis is scary, it is not an excuse to not do your homework. You need to be taking care of your education even during this trying time. This can also remind us that bad things don't last forever. World War II eventually ended and the British government ended up winning. So even though it might seem scary and like this is never going to go away, eventually it will end and things will get back to normal. So please make sure that you have used this time well and taken care of your education even during this trying time. This week we are moving on from from Europe to the continent of Asia. You will probably recognize famous Asian countries like Japan, China, India, and even, yes, Russia is part of Asia as well. There are many other countries of Asia and many other peoples we will talk about during this unit. First, we're going to talk about Asia's physical geography. You have 3 assignments for this week that all are talk about Asia's physical geography and the natural world of Asia. The first assignment is a reading on Classroom about the different physical features of Asia. What are the major landmarks, the big rivers, the mountain ranges, the deserts? So read this article about those different places, learn what their names, and answer the questions about them. Your second assignment has to do with Asia's climate. As we learned earlier this year, climate means the long-term average of a weather in a region, typically over 30 years. So scientists can measure weather patterns over time and then average them out to determine the climate. The Earth's climate is all about the equator. Remember, the Earth is a globe, it is a sphere, and so the equator is the part that is the closest to the sun. So all of the climate, or the countries that are around the equator, typically have a tropical climate. As you can see from this map, that South America and Africa, where the equator cuts right through, have this same climate. So climate has to do with latitude. As you move further north or further south away from the equator, things get colder. And as you end up on the north side of the globe, in the Arctic, you have a polar climate. And the south side, the Antarctic, you also have a polar climate. Everything in between is a little bit colder as you go further north. It's important to know that climate is connected with latitude, going side to side. So as you can see, North America, where we live, has a similar climate to Asia, which is what we're going to be talking about this week. So when we're measuring climates, make sure to think about latitude with how things are going there. Your assignment will have you look at a climate map of Asia, and you'll notice that Asia has all kinds of subclimates throughout it. Everything from desert in Saudi Arabia to polar climates in Siberia, which is a part of northern Russia. So you'll use this map to answer a few questions about the climates of Asia. Your third assignment for this week will probably be one that you're going to be pretty interested in. Oh wait, what's that, Captain America? Time to see what's inside your head today. Let's see what you got for us this week. Ah, it's a giant panda. So your third assignment for this week is talking about endangered species, which the giant panda is unfortunately an endangered species. So, endangered species are animals or plants that are at risk of extinction. Extinction means that they would all die off and unfortunately no longer be with us, like the dinosaurs. And species can become often endangered because of something called habitat loss. Habitat loss is the process by which an animal loses its habitat, or the area where it lives, and the habitat can no longer support the species. Habitat loss can be caused by something like an asteroid hitting Earth and destroying the habitat of the dinosaurs, or it can be caused by something like people cutting down trees in the Amazon rainforest that we learned about during South America. For your third assignment this week, you will need to pick one endangered species that lives in Asia and use a website from the World Wildlife Fund to read about that animal. And you will create a kind of like a poster profile of that animal. You'll write down things like what's its habitat, how large is the animal, what does it eat, where does it live, all those kind of things. You will also, on the World Wildlife website, what's a tongue twister, read about what people are trying to do to save the animal. And at the end of your post, you have to create a summary of what people are trying to do to save the animal and include what you could do to help them. So pick an animal that lives in Asia that's endangered, read about it, create a profile, and then write about what people are doing to try and save the animal. I will post all the links you need on Classroom later this week. So to review, first thing, read about the physical features of Asia, answer the questions. Second, do the climate map assignment. And third, create your endangered species profile and learn about how you can try to help save endangered animals that live in Asia. Last thing this week is I'd like to give a shout out to Max and Mimi who completed the Europe Map Challenge last week. Great job, guys. If you have any questions, please send me an email or hang out with me on Google Hangouts from 1:30 to 2:30. Otherwise, I will see you next Monday.